Hold on. All right, we're live.
Really?
We are.
Welcome to the launch of the Adman and Robin Show, brought to you by the Real Marketers of New York. We're here to help everybody in business, business owners, people who provide services, professionals, creators, consultants, in other words, you. Learn the most effective social media and digital advertising strategies to superpower your marketing, and make sure you're able to do this probably even within 24 hours.
Definitely within 24 hours.
Without wasting time and or money. I'm Robin Kollner, the CEO of the branding and marketing consulting firm Digistar Media, and my buddy, the original Adman. Now introduce yourself, but I get to do the rest.
Kyle McMurray, from the founder of Grow Now Marketing. Hit it.
Every week, we're going to be sharing knowledge, tips, tactics, case studies, and even some cool guests. In our 15 to 20 minute show, we're going to begin with a rundown of the most relevant news in the world of social media. So I'm going to be doing that. Then we're going to share actionable tips on a very specific topic, and it may take more than one show for this topic. We're going to explain how to implement it in social media, and then how to optimize the ROI with paid advertising.
And today we're going to talk about how to take one piece of video content, a long form content, and make it last over 6 months and beyond that, which is fun, I guess, but actually have it make sales for you, which is the most important thing. So you want to stay tuned for that.
And
All right.
And then we're going to give you takeaways, okay?
Yeah.
So that you're going to be able to implement it right away.
Like a little doggy bag. Yeah.
Really?
All right.
Can I eat something too? No muffins. Anyway, let's get started. What's doing in social? What's new with social? It's like the SNL weekly update, only I'm a little cuter than Colin Jost. Okay.
Hit it.
Turn the slide.
It is.
Facebook, always got to be talking about Facebook first. Okay, so what's going on with Facebook? So some of these are features that they announce, because all the platforms announce this stuff way before they actually roll it out to you and me. But you got to know about it, because if you know about it ahead of time, you're going to be able to get on it very quickly. So the first thing that they're doing is that now you can share the reels that you create in Instagram directly to Facebook. You've never been able to do that before. Thank goodness they're finally coming out with that. Cannot wait. And guess what else? You know, you've heard the buzz about Clubhouse, audio sharing app, audio talking apps. So Facebook tried to buy Clubhouse. They couldn't. They were turned down. So they are rolling out their own audio app within Facebook. How is it going to work? So what we know so far is that you're going to be able to access it through rooms. So your room can have a video or an audio component. Then there's going to be able to do audio within groups. Facebook groups have been incredibly popular and very valuable for people who want to market their business in a subtle way, but get great conversation going on. And Facebook knows that people who are putting time and effort into this need to get paid. So they've actually come out with a monetization scheme. So if you notice,
faster than Clubhouse.
You bet. Although Clubhouse now, you can get paid as a speaker by having someone tip you through Square. So if you notice on the slide, there's some cute little stars. People are actually rating the speakers there. So now all of you who have moderated rooms on Clubhouse, pay attention to this. You may actually want to move it to Facebook.
All right.
Instagram. We've always got to talk about Instagram, because Instagram rolls out new features every 3 days. So what's on the horizon? Some of you may have this already. It's being able to add video to stories and have it auto caption. So why are captions important? Well, Kyle's going to be talking a lot about video today, because video is really, really key to all of social media content discovery. And captioning is important because so many people take a look-see when they're not supposed to have the sound on. So everybody wants to be able to have the captions appear on video. So this is going to be a feature that, as I said, some of us are lucky enough to have gotten it. It's rolling and coming out. What else? The ability to save a story in a draft form. So I don't know about you, but when I create stories, it takes me an hour and a half. No, really, seriously. If we're not using an outside app, if you're not using a graphic design helper app like Canva or Unfold, And you're actually within the Instagram app itself. And you're creating that story content. That's that little stuff at the top that disappears. It's a circle on Instagram. It's an elliptical upside down rectangle on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on LinkedIn. And when you got that and you want to fix something and you've already created it, you can't do it. Finally, Instagram is going to let us save a draft and go back to it, maybe be able to find better music, etc. Thank goodness it's going to help us as creators.
And we're going to talk about stories a lot in a minute, so keep that in mind.
TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. So those of you that are on it, even looking and not even producing, just think of this. They are rolling out lead generation forms that autofill. So anybody that's providing services that want people to sign up for a downloadable piece of content, you can do it now. When you're on TikTok and people are on TikTok, they can do it automatically. This is big, everybody. It took LinkedIn 5 years to create something like this. Huge and very valuable for B2B service providers or anybody that has a downloadable piece of content or someone to register for a free masterclass or even to subscribe to a show. And finally, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's always left for last because somehow people think it's not social media. I call it social media for the grown-ups, all right? But we got to know about LinkedIn because everybody's there. Believe it or not, the people that are buying are there. It is really, really an important personal branding tool. And we're going to talk a lot about personal branding on our show. But think of this. Yet again, they decided they had to jump on the video bandwagon. All right, so yes, you can upload videos to LinkedIn, but now when someone goes to your profile and you've got that little circle there, they can press a button and you have an ability to have an autoplay video cover story. You talk about yourself. So if you're looking for a job, you can actually do that. You can say what you're skilled at. If you're looking for clients or customers, you can talk about your background. The first 10 seconds will play and then it moves it over to a video. The other feature is that the cover picture behind it, usually it's a little banner that, has to work well on various devices. Now that can be a video too, and you can tell your story. Now, of course, Facebook rolled this out 5 years ago, but leave it to LinkedIn. They're going to get it together. And notice that I'm talking about video. So now it's Kyle's turn. I know he's anxious. Tell us, what's our topic today?
All right, so today we're going to talk about, as we promised you, how to create one long-form video. This also could be a blog post, and how to transform that into 6 months worth of content. But first, there is the elephant in the room. Why on earth would you want to do such a thing? Right? Why would you want to do this? It's just like for fun? No. So I want you to think about something that Google came out with, and they said that 95% of all sales transactions, all of them, B2B, doesn't matter, B2C, whatever you want to say, they all started online. Now, they didn't finish there. Only about 30% finished there. But they all started there. So what does that mean? That means that your prospects, your prospective customers, are going online to educate themselves so they can make the most informed decision so they don't get ripped off. They know what they're doing and they feel more in control. This is something that just about everyone does. So if they're going there, why not have your content waiting for them? Because if you do, then that content almost turns into a salesperson, right? It's like having a 24/7 salesperson that never gets sick, that never has problems with his girlfriend or his cat dies. It just shows up, right? It's always there. It's always ready to go. It's bait. That's right. So I want you to think about this in terms of catching fish, right? So if you have 100 lines in the water and your competition only has 1 line, who's probably going to win? You are, right? Because you've got more lines in the water. So let's show you how to do that real quick. So the first step is you want to take a long form piece of educational content. So this is content that informs your prospective customer, shows you off as an expert, but also is focused on helping them solve their problem by walking them through a 6 to 7 step process on how they would get from finding your business to doing business with you and to get the best result. What would they need to do if you put yourself in their shoes,
It's like a
right?
pain point kind of concept. What are they really looking for?
Exactly.
As opposed to, don't tell me what you're
See,
selling, don't tell me why you're great.
this is where the Wharton comes out, right? It's
Okay.
like boom. So here you go. So let's just take an example of this, and we're going to get to all the splitting up in a second. So we're going to take a long form piece of content. So say it's 6 or 7 steps. Say you're a realtor and you want to have somebody have the best chance of showing their house so they get the most offers. So what are the steps that someone would need to do that? Well, you'd start with the outside, right? So when somebody drove up, a prospective person to buy your house, what would they need to look? How would that house need to look at to be the most attractive?
Yeah.
Then each step you could be a room. Here's how you make the kitchen look the best. Here's how you make the bedrooms look the best. Here's how to clear clutter. Here's how to make the entryway. Here, maybe you could put lemons in a bowl to make it smell better. Maybe you could put on some hot cookies or something. Even more than that, maybe you could show the house in restricted hours so you have the most amount of people show up at the same time.
You lost me. How's this video content?
Wait, so you walk this through, so you sit there in front of the camera and tell somebody each step by step by step and create, maybe it's a 10, maybe it's a 15-minute long video.
Like this?
Exactly. And then you isolate each one of those 6, 7, 8 steps and make it its own video. So you had one video, now you have 8. Right, because
like chapters in a story, almost.
Exactly
Like a book,
like a book, exactly. So
or a Netflix series.
or Netflix. Well, not really. Those are hours and hours. All right, so here we go. We had one video. Now we have 8. Remember the one video plus the 7 for each chapter or each step. Now we're going to go even further. So each step can be broken down even further because in a step, if you said, okay, here's what you need to do to make the entryway look as inviting as possible. First of all, step 1, clear clutter. Step 2, these are like A, B, and C in an outline, right? Put lemons in a bowl. 3, make sure the light is open. Make sure the curtains are open. You could take each one of those little sub-steps and make that into a video. Now remember, you're not creating a new video. You're just chopping the video that you have into smaller segments. Smaller and smaller and smaller. Then from each one of those little steps, you could make a quote and make a static quote image. Like say the lemons, you could have a picture of the lemons in a bowl and put lemons in your bowl and have your name and your branding on there, right? So now you've taken that one video and chopped it into 7 smaller videos, and from those you've chopped it into each one has 3 to 4 steps, maybe 21, maybe 28 more videos. So now we're up somewhere near 40 different videos, and then you start taking the images out. So at the end of the day, you could probably have about 150 pieces of content from that one video.
Whoa. All right, so back to lemons, or back to the individual six sections. The chocolate chip cookies, maybe? Okay, so back to the individual 6 videos. Let's not do 100 yet. Let's do the 6. Those can actually be uploaded to all of the social media channels because they accept video in an upload. You can actually even create reels off of it.
Yep.
And I will share at a later time an amazing tool that takes watermarks off, so you can take the Instagram reel watermark off and upload it to TikTok, or vice versa. So a lot of these are pieces of what I call snackable content, like the cookies.
Exactly.
Okay?
So we want you to think about Hansel and Gretel and the little breadcrumbs, right? These are the breadcrumbs that your customer is finding because you're just showing up literally everywhere with helpful content, not bragging content. You're helping them out. They're like, oh, lemons in the bowl. Never thought of that. Oh, have everyone show up, show the house only in restricted hours so that every time someone comes into the house, when they leave, there's somebody else waiting to go in. So it makes it look like this is a very hot house.
Or even a line of cars. I've seen that. Just
even
what's going on in the real estate market. 75 cars once outside a house.
It's true. And years ago, when I was in Brooklyn, I saw somebody pull this off. Amazing. They advertised it everywhere, and they just said simply, this house will be sold Sunday night at 7 o'clock, period.
And they did that as a video and a static quote
on top? Well, this is pre-video, but
okay.
But they did. They had a line of people waiting to see that house because everyone knew. They said, we will take the highest offer by Sunday at 7. And it was an amazing strategy. And they sold that house in a slower market, actually. But let's get back to this. Anyway, you've got all these little tiny pieces that are waiting for people, and you've optimized them. But what do you do now if you want to add more of a paid and ad kind of component to this? Well, Facebook and most of these social platforms and Instagram allow you to kind of corral people who interact with your content, meaning they liked it, meaning they shared it, meaning they watched it, and put them into separate audiences that you can reach out to with a paid ad later. In
So
other
wait,
words,
wait, wait, wait. This is really
what do
important.
you mean wait?
Wait just a minute. This is important, okay? A lot of people don't know that when you do paid advertising on Facebook, that there actually is an ad manager dashboard. So what's
Right.
perfect about this is that when somebody watches your snackable pieces of video, they can become an audience that you can remarket to. Okay? So
Right.
and you can capture that and find it. So how do they capture it?
So you tell Facebook, listen, I want anybody who reacts with this content, meaning they watched it, meaning they liked it, they shared it, they commented on it. I want you to put them in a separate audience. Now, you cannot see who's in that audience. That's a privacy thing that Facebook won't let you do. But Facebook will say, on your behalf, we will let you advertise to that audience. Now, think about this. Who's a better person to advertise to? Someone who's never heard of you before, someone who's ignored all your content, or someone who has watched it, commented, liked it, shared it. All those people are what we call warm, right? So if you think about traffic temperature, meaning what people are when they interact with your business, they're either people who know you and like you. Those are hot, or done business with you. Those are hot people. You've got warm people. They haven't done business, but they know you and they've kind of interacted with you. And then you've got ice cold people and they've never heard of you and don't know anything about you or your content. Those are the hardest people to get, by the way. So this is a way to shortcut everything and put your ads and your offers in front of people who are warm, meaning they know you, they're familiar with you. Maybe they haven't bought, but they're familiar with you. And it gives you the best chance of getting somebody to become a customer. And also, it's the cheapest because they've already interacted with you. And you're not trying to get, you're not trying to win that audience from another advertiser because you're the only one fighting for it because it's your audience.
And so that advertisement will cost a lot. That advertising budget will cost a lot less. So you talked about a lot of things. Can you summarize it a little bit? I mean, this is a big
So let's just think. So what you want to do? So let's get back to this big idea, right? The big idea is you want to take a longer form piece of content. Now, this could be a blog post. You could do this in a blog post. I've seen people do it. It's just that video can be turned into a blog post. And we didn't even get deeper into this. We'll tell you that in a different one. You can actually strip the audio out of your video and make it into, you ever seen those little, the little thing where it has a person's picture and then it has their voice talking with the little waveform? They show those on Facebook. That's another form of content. So really, we're talking 200 to 300.
Service providers, yep.
Exactly. So you want to think, what is something that I can give somebody in 6 to 7, even 8 steps at the most? How could I walk somebody through and give them value, solve their problem, and also show that I'm an expert, right? And do that in a form of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. While I'm creating that content, I want to also think because now I know how to do this, when I do the step 1, I want to see if I can break it into even smaller chunks, little bite sizes. What'd you say? Snackable?
Snacks like popcorn.
Snacks that I want to make it into little snacks so they could pop those little things into their mouth, right? So they're like, oh, that tasted good. I want more.
A snack. Hold on, let me interrupt. It's been a while. Okay.
I talked for like a minute.
To talk and make the Instagram, Facebook stories out of that, or even stories
exactly.
On
That's
LinkedIn.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The stories.
You take the top frame of that particular snackable video. You take a picture of it and you put the quote on top, and it turns it into a story.
Exactly.
Because storytelling is the essence of social media, and all of the functions that we talk about, whether it's video or it's short form video, such as Reels and TikToks, or it's story format. All must tell a story. And even a blog post tells a story. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. And that's what makes an effective story. And we're going to show examples in subsequent shows, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now that we've got the tech down, okay?
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
All right. Yeah. All right. So that's really the strategy there. You want to start thinking very strategically. Remember, you're scattering breadcrumbs. You're leading people back to your website, to your sales page, to your lead page, whatever you're trying to do. You're using this content so that they're like, oh, I like that. That's a great idea. Oh, look, he's got another idea. I'll pop that one in my mouth. Oh, look, there's one over there. I'm going to grab that one. Oh, it's them again. So this is what we're doing over and over again. And that allows you to totally dominate your competition and remember, and only create the content one time.
And don't forget, we are living in the era of the customer. and the client. What I mean is that everybody has to put a hat on in business that makes them feel like they're thinking at it in the eyes and the headset of who they want as their prospect. So, in order to get found online and to get hired online or to really attract people, you really need to have something that's going to make people trust you and feel that you're in it for them. And that's where the thought leadership concept comes in. That's where the content that is helpful is much better than just, here I am on a bikini in a beach. Or, I don't know.
Right. I mean, who do you like more? Somebody that, if you're in trouble, somebody that can just come out of nowhere and solve your problem, right? Or someone that you meet at a networking thing that tells you how great they are, right? Or tells you all about, something that you don't
get. Did we meet at a networking event? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and she did that, right? She told me how great. No, she did. But that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to be that helpful source. You're trying to be somebody who's got, think about somebody who's driving on a beach, they get their car stuck in the mud and they can't get out. You're the guy with the tow truck. You're saying, I can help you out, right? You would welcome that person so much more than somebody who walked by and said, hey, did you get stuck? Did you see my muscles, right? It's nothing to do with you, right? You want to solve your problem. Your customers want to solve their problem. All right, that's it for this week.
We're wrapping it up, but we're going to have how-tos going forward. We're going to take what Kyle said and we're going to break it up into ideas of how to implement it.
We might even do a blog post.
Yeah, we might.
Or a video.
So just remember, mark your calendars, hit the subscribe button, get notifications so that you know when the Adman and Robin show is running. And if you can't get there just because you happen to not be lunching and learning with us, then at least watch the replay. Because after all, who wants to miss a bunch of terrific yahoos talking about marketing?
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next week.